Good morning everyone, it's Linda here from Linda's Papercraft. Welcome to week 3 of the Celebrate Sunflower coffee and card. So if you've got the dies for this, then there is a die to cut these out. If you haven't got the dies, then we're fussy cutting. And just to demonstrate how to do that, I am going to fussy cut it today. Okay, so let's get started. I've got my brew. There you go. Let's see what we're doing today then. So just to speed things up, I have coloured and fussy cut 2 of the flowers out, but I am going to do another one for you today just to show the techniques I use. So, Celebrate Sunflower card 3. So, after last week being really ahead of the game, this week it's Tuesday and I'm only just filming it. Not so efficient this week. So you've got a piece of paper to stamp your sunflowers on. And then you've got a piece of paper that goes inside the card. And then I've embossed that with one of the embossing folders. It was from the Ornate Garden Suite. I think it's still in the catalogue, but it's just a lovely flowery effect. And then this is the last piece of my silver mesh ribbon until my order comes, and then I have some more coming. So, because I love this, because you can like squeeze it up, you can tie bows. I don't normally do a wide ribbon, but I just really like that little bit of glimmer. It's just adding to the card, and then you have an envelope as well. So we'll start with the stamping. So don't put it away, the piece of card, Linda. I'm done with it. There it is. So we've got some stamping on the envelope. We need the card. Did I stamp on the inside? Let's have a look. Yes, I did. We need some stamping on the inside as well. So let's get going. Right, so I'm going to start, and I'm actually going to do the inside and the envelope because the inside was stamped off. So I can just stamp the envelope and then stamp the inside. Ooh. Right, so there we go. So and I'm just going to pop that on the flap of the envelope. Put that to one side, and then I'm just going to stamp again in the top corner of the inside of the card. There we go. So then on this card you're going to stamp 3 sunflowers. So that's 1. 2. And there we go. There's the 3rd. 3. Okay, I'll just wipe down my stamp and give that a second to dry. There we go, and then we'll start colouring. Or the cutting, which should we do first? It's always an awkward one, that, because if you colour in first and then mess up the cutting. Or if you cut it first and then mess up the colouring, so it can go either way. So, and as I say, it's quite boring watching me colour in and cut out, so we're just going to colour and cut 1 because I've already done 2 a la Blue Peter style. So starting off with the cinnamon cider and using the thick end, I'm just going to colour in the middle of this one. So just little circles all the way around. Oops. As I say, nothing artistic about this. We're just filling in using the brush end. Okay, and then we'll do the petals in the bumblebee. And again, outside in, We are doing a bit of fancy colouring next week, but more just leaving white spaces rather than anything overlaying colours or anything like that, just to give a different effect. So don't worry about it, it's nice and easy. Okay. And don't be afraid to move your image around to make it easier to colour. And the same with the cutting. As you know, move the paper, not the scissors. Or move the paper more, I think probably is the technical. Okay, just going back over the edge of the centre there. And the last little petal there. And then taking the Just Jade, I'm going to colour in the leaves. Now I've left the envelope and inside the card just the black and white. You could colour those in as well if you wanted, or just leave them. I think this stamp looks both either way. So. And now I'm colouring the leaves. I've noticed a couple of white spaces on the petals, so I'm just going to come back and fill those in. Well, that was rubbish, completely out of the line on that one. Right, so now I'm going to do some cutting. So you need a small sharp pair of scissors to do your footy cutting. And these are my snips from Stampin' Up. And I'm just going to start by just roughly cutting it out. So it's on a smaller piece of paper, and put that to one side. Right, so hold your paper. And I hold my scissors at a slight angle. If you can see, I'm holding them away from what I'm cutting out. I'm just using little snips just to go in and out of the petals. But if you hold it sort of away, it sort of cuts the paper at an angle, so it doesn't look as, I think the word I want to use is childish. You know, it looks a bit more professional. There you go. And you can always check and make sure you're there. If you're not there, go back down a little bit more and just try and leave a white area just beyond, because it does look nice like that. Some people do cut right up to the line. I did just cut right to the line on that petal. We are putting it on a white background, so it's not an issue at all, really. And these are handmade cards. They are not factory produced. Obviously, if you've got the dies, then use the dies, unless you particularly want to cut them out. And as I say, I've been doing it a while. As I say, just move your image. See there again, I've not gone far enough. And just in and out, loosely holding the image with your hands. And it just gets a better flow around the image. I know we were always taught to cut 2 triangles, you know, cut 2 lines into that and then meet them at the middle, but I much prefer to do it this way. And the other thing is as well, you need the image where you can see it, because if you try and cut that way, you're going to be in the wrong place. So you need the image to where you can see it. I don't know if these work left-handed. I might have to give them Malcolm to test. They look like they might, because they've got similar holes. But never having had to deal with being left-handed, I don't know. But they are lovely and sharp, and people get into trouble for using them for anything other than paper. But obviously paper does blunt scissors, so you know, they do. I have a sort of a range of these that as they become blunt. I do have a scissor sharpener. It doesn't work terribly well. It doesn't get them back to how sharp these start off. So, you know, they are a consumable, but they should last you a good few years. Unless you do something silly like cut through cardboard with them or something. There we go. Okay, and then I think I just started a bit off there, so I'm just going to tidy that up and tidy that. Because with anything, you know, you can go back and just redo little bits. There we go. So I'm happy with that now. It's not perfect, but then it's handmade. Okay, so, but holding the scissors at that angle does make for a much neater cut. Okay. So there we go. So once you've got all three, so you always pause the video and colour and cut your three. We're ready to make the card. So as quite a few of you have got the Just Jade Stampin' Spot, which I think was either, I can't remember whether it was in the Up and Away kit or the Christmas card kit. But I know a few of you have got a Just Jade Spot. So I am going to stamp, I'm going to use my ink pad. Obviously, if you haven't, you can just use your Just Jade pen to colour in the sentiment. Okay, so I'm just going to get that out. So congratulations on reaching a whole new level of wonderful. So congratulations. I'll just pop that back. I love the way that the most of the die sets actually fit in the stamp box. It takes up a lot less room and easier to find because you're just looking for one thing. So, so I've got lots of little bits here. So we're just going to line that up straight on the block. Okay, and just tap, tap, tap. It's better to do a few little taps than to pound it into the stamp pad once. Right, so, and this just fits nicely on here. So, I'm just trying to make myself taller so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. Not perfect, but it'll do. Right, so now we're going to assemble the card. Now you've got a lot more silver ribbon than I have. So I literally have just the end of the row, the roll rather. I did wonder if I was going to have to miss out, but I just have enough to do. Okay. So I'm just going to start by attaching this on the back here, and I'm going to use, I still have a few left. This is the old Stampin' Up snail. Not got the new ones yet. So I'm just going to stick some snail on the back there and on this side as well. Okay, put that closed. And then we're just going to stick, as I say, you've got more, so I'm just going to literally stick a little bit of it down on there. Take it round. Yeah, just. In fact, not quite. I'm going to have to put some snail right up to the edge. Yeah, I'm going to do that again, but with a little. Let me take that off. Not sure I can. Right. So, I can always trim it so it looks like it goes over the edge. I'm just going to put a bit more snail right up to the edge there to catch that. As I say, you're not going to have this problem because you've got loads. There we go, we're getting there. Just do a thread at a time. Ooh, there's a couple there that are still objecting. So as you can see, the snail's really sticky. The new one apparently is even stickier. So although I do like my wet glue. There we go. So I've managed to get that on just about. Just adding a subtle glimmer. to the front of your card. And then we're going to add this on here. So back to my Tombow. We are. Okay. And because some of it is on snail, you need to sort of be careful before you press it down at all, because the snail will stick. You can undo it. You have to sort of breathe on it like you did when you were in labour. Slightly over, but that's fine. There we go. Okay, so, and then arrange your flowers where you want them. So I had one at the back, then the sentiment, and then these two are on dimensionals as well as the sentiment. Okay, so I'm just going to stick that first flower down flat so it's touching the top of the card. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that there. There we go. You do have to make sure it's sort of glued down in between the ribbon. And then I'll get my dimensionals out, which I haven't got out. Little ones. Where have my big ones gone? I got a fresh pile of big ones out the other day and they've disappeared. Aha. Nope. They're already out. Right, so we'll use up the bones of this one first. Get the glue scissors. You don't want to be using your best snips cutting these up. There we go. So that's 4 dimensionals on there. Just going to pop that on the front, sort of round about the middle-ish, maybe slightly towards the bottom rather than the top. Okay, and then do this one next. So obviously you don't want a dimensional on this bit here, so I'm just going to put some round there. Oh, finished. Right. So on there, and then this bit is just going to rest on the sentiment, which has already got a dimensional on. There we go, so just positioning that so you can still see the wording, but it doesn't overlap the edge of the card. And again, press that down onto the card. That will take quite some squishing, because you don't want it just stuck to the ribbon. You really need it stuck to the card underneath, otherwise it'll sort of whiz about all over the place. And again, we need to check where that's going. So that's going to be going there. So it's just this bit here that I don't want a dimensional on. So one there, and then one over this side. And then just to make it sure it's super stuck, I am going to put a little dash of glue on here, she says. Come on. No, yeah, there it goes. Okay. And just going to stick that on. Yep, happy with that. Okay, and stick these down as well. Make sure they're nicely stuck. Okay. Then I'm going to pop, oops, I think I'm going to pop it on that side there. Yes, that looks nice. There we go. Yeah. Wrong way. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's nice and centered. So press that down. And there we go, all finished. Managed to get some glue on the inside there. I'll just get my glue rubber. Unfortunately, Stampin' Up don't do these anymore, but they are still available through other outlets. If you put a comment in the video, on the video, I'll send you a link, because they are useful glue erasers. So, because we do get glue. And there we go. So let's move everything else out of the way. Still got it in my finger somehow. Okay, so there we go. So there's the two cards, the one I made earlier and the one I've done today. So, and as you can see, the one I made earlier, I used the dies. This one I fussy cut, and you know, you wouldn't know. You really wouldn't know the difference between the two. And that's us done for this week. I hope you've enjoyed it. So I'm just going to take a minute just to go through next month's coffee and card. So in June, so it will soon be June, those of you who've received my newsletters will know, we're going to be using this, which is the hand-penned petals. So beautiful loose watercolour type stamps, and they are the photopolymer stamps, so you can see through them really easily, and it's a two-step stamp set, and everything can be coloured in by the stamps. And I'm also going to include a Blushing Bride ink pad. This is one of my few old style ink pads I've got left. Still going strong there. Nice and juicy. And then, now there are dies. You don't need the dies to make the cards that I'm going to design for this. I'm purposely not going to use the dies. The basic set is £35. If you want to upgrade to include the dies, it is £50, but it's up to you. But you don't essentially have to have them to do the coffee and card. And as I say, I made that for my start of the week stamping. Oh, was it last week or was it this week? I can't remember. It's all melding into one. So, and I've used the ribbon out of May's product share, which I thought was rather nice. So, I'm starting taking bookings for that. So if you want to come, please let me know. Right, so that's me done for today. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Thanks a lot. Bye.